Okay. All right, I'm here with Dave from Tiny NH House, obviously East Coaster, New Hampshire, I assume is the NH. He's
That's
up,
right.
he's in his tiny house right now, and his channel is, I don't know, 4 times more popular than mine, but that's not hard to do. So congratulations for that.
I started a long time ago.
Oh, okay, okay. So we're both into kind of dreaming Spanish and comprehensible input. And yeah, so just tell me a little bit about, why you want to learn Spanish or what your interest is and maybe how you found comprehensible input and kind of what your journey's been like.
Yeah. Um, so I retired in 2000, year 2000, and I wanted to do something to keep my brain active. So I figured learning a new language would be a good thing to do. And I also want to visit Spain someday. So I decided to try learning Spanish. And I did different methods. I tried Babbel for a while. They had a COVID special, like 2 years for the price of one. I tried that. Of course, I tried Duolingo. I did for 1 year this course called Spanish with Paul, and they were all good, but they were traditional methods, basically textbook learning. And then in January of 2022, I stumbled on Dreaming Spanish channel on YouTube, and I started watching the videos, and it was like this is what I've been looking for all along.
Yeah.
Um, so I could speak a few words or sentences in Spanish from what I'd learned previously, but if I didn't continuously study, then I'd forget it. But with Dreaming Spanish and comprehensible input, uh, it's like easy. You just pay attention and watch the videos, and you don't try and memorize anything at all. And I found I don't know, after 6 months or a year, I really did have Spanish comprehension. I could understand uh, at that time maybe 50% of what I heard in Spanish, but that never would have happened with traditional methods, where it's all based on output. So yeah, I watched the super beginner videos, I think 3 times, and I watched all the beginner videos, all the free ones. And then I joined the channel, became a patron in about 6 months in when I started. So now it's what, 2 and 3/4 years later. And I'd say uh, listening wise, comprehension wise, I'm still intermediate. Um, and yeah, that's the story so far.
How many hours do you think you have at this point?
So I looked the other day, it was like 1,370.
Okay, I'm closing in
Yeah.
on you.
Yes, you are. Yeah. I like to keep track of the hours because it's a way to measure, I think, my progress, because with comprehensible input, um, you're not taking tests, so you can't objectively show how much you've progressed from 1 month to the next or whatever. But mentally, that you've made progress because things are clicking up there that you didn't know before.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I've had a similar experience too. Um, it's just been fun. I'll tell you what though, the reason I do the comprehensible input is because I wasn't really gonna finish any other method. You know what I mean? Like everything else is
Yes.
so dry, and it's just like that's why most people give up when they start a language because it's too dry, it's too boring, And I thought, well, I don't know if I can believe this guy or not, but I don't seem to really, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if it works or not. It's going to help, and I'm willing to do it. And if I need to learn the hard way later on, I'll learn the hard way later on. But it's functioning. Um, yeah, it's functioning quite well. So we have a lot of partners in crosstalk. We have a couple of crosstalk partners. I think we've got in common. Sorry, we both do crosstalk, and that's where, say, Dave would speak English, and his partner would his native Spanish speaker would speak Spanish. Um, and yeah, we have a few partners in common. I think at least two. Two guys in Spain, is it? Do you have two partners in Spain?
I've got one in Spain. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we started the beginning of this year, I think, like 2 or 3 times a week. Um, and yeah, I'd say we understand about 80% of what each other says. And we'd show pictures. I'd show pictures of the cabin here and rebuilding it. And we talked about all different kinds of things. We talked about ham radio and electronics, and if one of us was puzzled, the other would like draw a picture, what we were talking about. But yeah, it really works, and the um, the comprehension thing is, I think, the best part.
Yeah, it's easier too. I think crosstalk is really more effective than just listening. Um, Even though you're speaking English half the time, you really are learning because you're kind of on the edge of your seat compared to watching a video about, I don't know, a couple in Switzerland, and they speak Spanish. It's kind of like, okay, that's interesting, but I'm going to space out here and there, when they're getting gas or whatever, whatever, whatever they're filming, So, um,
Exactly. But the crosstalk is engaged. It keeps you engaged. Like you say, you're on the edge of your seat, and you're trying to understand what the other person said, and you miss a word here and there, but you get the general gist of the conversation.
definitely. And oh yeah, so I'll put the link to the WhatsApp crosstalk group for anyone below. You can share it out too, of course, on your channel. Um,
Okay, we'll do.
yeah, it's it's just a much easier way and a little more intense, but not as tiring or distract. I don't know how to put it. It takes just about as much energy to do crosstalk. It's just very relaxed, I guess. That's what I like about it.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Um, Occasionally I'll turn on subtitles, not obviously not translated. But if I'm having a hard time or I'm a little tired, I'll turn on the Spanish subtitles, and that can help. It's really good in Google Meet. I, I've appreciated that from time to time. They're pretty accurate, not perfect.
Okay.
Um, but Yeah, so tell me a little bit about the cabin. I watched just a little bit here and there of your videos. I was impressed with the way you lowered that water tank into the enclosure.
Yeah. Yeah, I started geez, I think it was 2015, um when I started building. And I just come up on weekends and vacations and work. And yeah, pretty much except for the roof, I did all of it myself. I got some help with the roof because I don't like heights. Um, and the thing is, when you're doing it alone, it takes 2 or 3 times as long. Some stuff is heavy, and I got to figure out how am I going to lift this myself using pulleys or
Yeah.
jigs to hold things up. So it's like problem solving thing too, when you're working alone on it. So yeah, I'm up in the Lakes region of New Hampshire, and my grandfather had a house on Squam Lake back in the 50s and 60s. And I don't know, maybe it's in my blood. I'm about 10 minutes away from another lake, a different lake up here. Yeah, it's just nice to get away from the suburbs and breathe the clean air and uh, hear the birds, stuff like that.
Do you have like a shower or like a toilet and a shower? I assume you have a sink at least.
Yes. So I have running water. I have a regular toilet, flushing toilet. I
Nice.
have I have a stall shower that is in place, but the piping is not hooked up to it yet. Uh, I've got solar panels for electricity, and I've got a shallow well on the property, and I've got these big 300-gallon water tanks. I've got 2 of them in the cellar. And in the spring, I fill them with water from the well, just using the electric pump.
Okay.
And that lasts me most of the season. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, it doesn't work so well in Minnesota, that kind of a setup. It gets too cold.
Well, yeah.
Somewhere in January, February, you're like, cabins, you know?
Yeah. Well, I close it down for the winter. Yeah. The end of November, I'll pump any remaining water out. I'll put antifreeze in the toilet and the sink. Because I'm not up here during the winter months. So yeah, I got a wood stove. I actually had it running last night because it was down to I think the upper 40s.
Okay.
Take the chill off.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, what are you like doing? What are you doing now for comprehensible input, or how much are you putting in a day, or is it crosstalk, or what are you up to with
Yeah.
spring?
Uh, so let's see. At about maybe around 1,000 hours, I started, or maybe 800 hours. I don't remember. I started doing some reading. I bought 5 or 6 of Juan Fernandez graded readers, and I really like those. And I don't read every day, but uh, I should set that as a goal. Um, I try. My goal for this year was 2 hours of comprehensible input a day, but I'm averaging more like 90 minutes, which is still okay.
Good.
Recently I bought my first ever Bluetooth equipment. It's just a set of headphones that wraps around the neck. Then I can plug one in the ear. So I started using those like if I'm making lunch or cleaning around the house. Uh, and I pick up another 20 or 30 minutes each day just doing that, listening to podcasts, whatever. And yeah, with Dreaming Spanish, for people that don't know it, if you join, you can download just the audio of the video if you want. And I do that, and I'll put them on my phone as an MP3 file so I can listen to them. And yeah, this morning I've got a radio up here that takes a USB stick. So I listened to like 30 minutes when I get up this morning of Spanish. Yeah, and I want to keep doing the crosstalk too, because I feel it's very helpful. Speaking wise, I got a lot, not a lot. I've got some negative comments. Oh, why aren't you speaking yet?
Of course.
And when I do speak, it's like, you've been studying Spanish for how long, and you still don't know how to pronounce this or that. So what I've been doing a bit is when I read, I may read one page out loud, slowly, and try and get the pronunciation correct. And one of Pablo Roman's principles, I guess you could call it, is that by listening first, by watching the videos, your brain learns the sounds of Spanish. And then when you start speaking, when you say a word and it's not correct, your brain realizes that, and it tries to fix the problem. And that's a slow process, but that's what I'm starting to do now, I think. Some reading out loud, and I don't know when I'm going to jump in with the whole talking thing. Maybe a couple more 100 hours. I watched a short video the other day about how to think in Spanish, and the woman said, set an alarm for like 5 times a day on your phone, and when it goes off, just speak out loud in Spanish whatever comes into your head for 30 seconds or 60 seconds. And she said after a week or so, you'll find out it's helpful. And I just started doing that the other day, so I can't vouch for it or not, but I'm going to try that too.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah. Well, keep me posted, or keep your channel posted or something. Yeah, it's been a real fun journey. Okay, I'll be honest, I totally lost my next question. I was ready to ask you a question, and then I totally lost it. But yeah, I mean, as far as like the sort of trolly comments, I get them too. It's just like, bro, you obviously only listened to 1 or 2 minutes of the whole video. You know what I mean? And I get attacked for things they think I said, you know, because really they're mad about comprehensible input or something, and they want to drop their beef, you know.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I
So
hate it though.
yeah, Pablo Roman, the creator of Dreaming Spanish, he really pushes crosstalk. He thinks it's the best way to do comprehensible input. And also for people that haven't gone to his website, he's got like frequently asked questions, and he also talks about his philosophy of comprehensible input. And there's a lot of neat information there. I mean, that's where I got this whole your brain learns the sounds, and then when you speak, your brain starts self-correcting you. That's from his site. And what else has he got there? Yeah. His if anyone hasn't watched them yet, he's got about 12 videos on how to use Dreaming Spanish. And I listen to those over and over again because I enjoy them. And he really explains a lot in those, dozen videos or so.
Yeah, I like the Getting Started series or something like that. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Some
Um,
people don't know about that. I've told a few people before, and they completely missed it. They
oh,
start
really?
off with the beginner video. Yeah.
I'm starting to run out of content. Well, content that I'm willing to watch on Dreaming Spanish. I'm digging for quite deep, and every day I look for new videos. Um, something I
Have you
wish I
tried?
go ahead.
Have you tried Chat GPT? Like crosstalk with Chat GPT?
I found it unpleasant.
Okay.
Um, uh, it wants to. Sometimes it'll switch to Canadian speaking Spanish to me, or it's almost like listening in English because I know my pronunciation is not that bad, and it's
Okay.
just, but it's trying to kick out English words. So I've been very unsuccessful with that. So I just
So,
gave up.
so is that the audio version or the text version?
Uh,
So I've just been using the keyboard. And I'll ask it to chat with me or whatever, and it's Spanish and I'm English. And then I've also used it to create like 500 word stories about certain subjects in A1 level of Spanish. If I'm looking for something to read, quickly.
yeah, I've done that. I like the storytelling in Gemini. I like Gemini a little better,
Oh,
but still, it's still odd. It's all very odd. So, um, yeah, uh, you know, I've been looking. I've been trying to find the phonemes in Spanish. I think there's 42 to practice with a teacher, but I gave up on that idea because I thought if I just learn to make the sounds, that the known sounds, the 42 known sounds, and I can get coached on that, that's not really going to interfere with the comprehensible input. I think it'd be a great start to help me uh, distinguish. It's funny because sometimes I want to say distinguir. It tell me distinguish between the sounds more easily. And the grammar, I'm just having a hell of a time. And I think reading is the solution to that, probably. Just
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
here, let me
Um,
silence that. Sorry.
yeah, I've been so with the other courses I took before, I've been exposed to a lot of the grammar. But I've forgotten basically what I learned, but it's probably in my subconscious still. And when I'm doing the comprehensible input, I will notice things, like saying, "Oh, now they're speaking in the past tense," or that type of thing.
Yeah. Oh, and about crosstalk, have you been on Neon's channel? It's like NIYN or NIOYN or something. Um,
Uh,
he
I
did
don't
an
know.
Oh, well, he did an interview. He found a guy who did 400 hours of comprehensible input, and he's younger, so there's some advantage there. Not huge, but there's some advantage with being younger. Um, and he had 400 hours of comprehensible input, and he said he's right on track with the marks or the progress that's predicted in Dreaming Spanish, which I'm just not. I'm a good 400. I'm about 50% behind um, those
I
marks. But
I agree. I'm the same way. I think the roadmap for dreaming Spanish is way too optimistic. Maybe it's okay for a younger person, but I'm 70 and uh, it's not working out for me. I mean, I'm happy with where I am, but I mean, so like in another if I'm at 1350 or so now, another 150 hours, I should be able to carry on a
Yeah.
fluent conversation. There's no way. Yeah. Yeah.
Equivalent to a native, nearly equivalent to a native speaker. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. um,
Maybe 3,000 hours, but yeah.
yeah, maybe. um, so I'm thinking about joining. Oh, well, I probably will join Baselang in another. I'm at 1110 today. When I hit 1200, I think I'm going to join Baselang because that's unlimited one-on-one, and I'll
Okay.
start doing crosstalk. And undoubtedly, they're going to be pressuring me to speak Spanish because that's just how people are. The way you
Right.
speak, the way you learn a language is by saying the words incorrectly many, many times, and that's how you learn. You know, so, and you just can't get that out of people's heads. You know, so undoubtedly, I'll be pressured to speak. Some of the tutors there speak no English.
Wow.
So that's the plan. But for $180 a month, I could comfortably squeeze about 100 hours of crosstalk a month out of it. So I mean, that's practically, it's practically stealing.
Right.
I wonder if they'll kick me off at some point if I get that many hours in. But so yeah, um, uh, that's what the plan is. I think that's a good way to kind of finish it off, and then kind of slowly start speaking in those rooms. So that's my
Yeah.
plan.
That sounds good to me. Yeah.
Um, all right. Well, anything else you want to talk about or promote or um,
Yeah. So in the beginning, I followed Pablo's advice about subtitles and I turned them off until I got to maybe 600 or 800 hours. And then I would turn them on in some videos because I would hear a word and I wanted to see how it was spelled to see if it was spelled the same way I heard it.
right,
Um,
right.
and I think once you get enough hours in, that's okay. Pablo says in the beginning, don't do it because you're going to read the words and you're going to pronounce them internally using the English pronunciation. And I understand that. It makes a lot of sense to me. But yeah, a lot of times now I'll put them on if it's an advanced video, um, so I can hear and see what the
Sorry.
words are together. Um, and then there's also a book. It's online that Pablo talks about. It's called From the Outside In. Um, I'm blanking out on the author right now, but he actually he founded that school in Thailand that Pablo spent a year at, and where Pablo basically got this comprehensible input idea. So from the outside in, that book, it's uh, some of it's kind of dry reading, but if I remember correctly, like chapters 5, 6, and 7, I found very useful to like understand the process of what's going on with comprehensible input. And he like explains why if people start speaking too soon, then they're going to have errors that are harder to correct than if they waited um, until later. And one of his themes is that the language will emerge naturally with comprehensible input, like the same way we learned our native tongue when we were growing up. Um, not to force it or anything. So that's an interesting book if anyone You can find it. There's a PDF online for free.
Yeah, I'll look for it. I'll just turn on the computer audio probably and run it in the background.
Yeah.
I love to do it that way. The computer voices have gotten so much better, like too. Last couple of years, they've gotten. I've added a bunch of voices. They have some great Spanish voices too. Um, anyways, all right, cool. Um, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Negative comments are welcome because I know like 10% of you are just itching or like screaming inside right now. So go ahead and just drop a like and take a dump on me. And be sure and check out Tiny NH House. There's some cool stuff. In fact, I've heard it's pretty good for English comprehension because he's doing a lot of actions and stuff. Uh, yeah, Emilio likes it.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
all
Yeah,
right, brother.
I got a playlist for my Spanish journey on there too. So any people that want to look at that, they just look for the playlist. Yeah.
Excellent. Cool. Well, thanks for joining me. I'll just upload it right now. I'm not going to edit or anything. I'll just drop it on Raw. I'll link your channel and the crosstalk in WhatsApp. So, oh yeah, for everyone who's interested, WhatsApp, very simple. Download it to your desktop. You can download it to your phone if you like. Sign up and then just use the link to subscribe to the WhatsApp. It's pretty good turnover. I mean, pretty good volume. There's at least one, often two crosstalk sessions a day. Feel free to join any active session or just to, go on there and ask if anyone would like to practice. And when they say yes, throw on either Google Meet or Zoom and have a good time. Crosstalk is an excellent way to learn. So, all right, brother. Thanks, Dave, for joining. I'll stop and then we can debrief, but I'll stop
Thanks,
here.
Jim.